Welcome everybody to another edition of Wrestling Therapy. I am your host, Osuji, and I am back with my friend Mr. 151 podcaster, his own podcast at the bar radio. Ha, I got it right this time.
Yeah, and also about I have a new podcast that I'm starting too.
Please explain.
So I got a new podcast called Can You Beatbox, and it's going to be me and my man Malo, and he's a hip hop artist, and we'll be discussing. He's old school like me, but we'll be discussing like classic moments in hip hop. I think one of the first shows we're going to put together. We're going to talk about the effects of Illmatic, what it meant to us, how it affected us, and and how it changed the game musically for a lot of people. Um, and then I got a couple other topics and stuff, but we'll just be discussing. And we'll throw in some other stuff because he has interest in wrestling too, but and just life in general. But they're gonna be short episodes, like 30 minutes each. But yeah, it's just coming soon. Can you beatbox?
And when are people expected to see this come out?
Uh, I don't know yet because here's the thing about it. What I'm going to do is release the shorts so you'll get clips, and then the actual videos will be available on this platform called Rig TV. My man has this platform called Rig TV. And we'll be doing it exclusively on there, where the app is free for like the first 6 months, and then it's like $5.99 or no $4.99. But with the Rig TV thing, it can be played on Amazon or Roku.
Okay.
Or just download the app. Or if you download the app on your phone, you can play it on your phone.
Well, everybody, please go ahead and listen out for that. I'll be looking out for it. Always good to support each other in our entrepreneurship. You're also a photographer. You do
Mhm.
music. I mean, you do everything.
Yeah, except for sleep apparently. But yeah, I just got back. And shout out to Cruel Intentions. Not only I'm a published photographer, Cool likes to remind me to say that, but also now I'm an international public photographer because we took some pictures and video and stuff when we went to Canada. And then we're also making a trip to go back to Canada real soon, which is a beautiful city. We went to Toronto, that's the city we was in Toronto. It was really, really nice and stuff. And we weren't there too long, so we want to go back and take a longer trip and and do some more exploring and stuff like that.
Okay, no, hey, I wish you nothing but success. I've seen your photographer work. It's top tier stuff, and more people need to get on because you are a man that keeps it moving. Like
Definitely, definitely, definitely. I appreciate that.
every time we
And
talk,
and
you're in Atlanta, Texas, Canada. Like,
Mhm.
damn, dude, like you're killing it, and I respect it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But also, I gotta give kudos to you. Um, I love your podcast journey. I love that you found your niche. You're talking and you're creating a lane. And then also too is that with anybody, when someone tells you something or try to give criticism or critique about it, it's not always a negative thing. So if I say, hey, you know what, I didn't like that guest or this, like, it's not, oh my God, you ain't so, it's an honest conversation. And I think that's a good thing. And I think that's kind of why the podcast is growing like it is, because you're open to those things.
Thank you. And yeah, look, man. Well, as you know, I used to wrestle, and when I started, it was a constant criticism. Everything was I did was criticized, and I used to get to me. But before, I take criticism as a opportunity to grow. And
And that's what we should take it as.
yeah, because there are people who know about this more than me. Like I've spoken to you about suggestions on things to do,
Yeah.
and
And we had a conversation. I said, "Hey, well, why don't you do this?" And then we looked at the numbers the other day. You was like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
it looked good."
yeah, yeah, completely surprised. But
But that's what happens too. Is when you deal with people who aren't gatekeepers and you deal with people that you can grow with. It just makes things a lot easier.
it's good, a positive message. It's always good to surround yourself that people that want to help you grow just as much as you want to see them grow. Because you got too
Yeah.
there's too many times, man, we got people that are snakes and they would sit there and they would try to cut you down at every opportunity they get because they are jealous and selfish.
True indeed. I mean, and here's the thing: support is a two-way street.
I,
You know, people definitely support me. I definitely support them. It doesn't it a like, a share, a comment doesn't cost anything. Uh, you know, I'm humbly when someone actually shares my podcast or gives me a comment or give me a like. It makes my day. You know, it's like me getting an Oscar or a Grammy or something. I feel it's good just for those little things. It when people appreciate the smallest of my accomplishments, I'm like, well, damn. I want to keep going and trying because these people are rooting for me. So those little things, but in order to receive love, you got to give love too. So as much as you want people to do it for you, do it for other people. There's plenty of people who may not even like a comment my stuff. I still comment and share their stuff regardless. You know, and I don't do it because I'm expecting anything. I do it because it's just part of my nature.
we gotta we as people are so worried about our own personal growth, which we should be, but at the same time, we don't need to kill somebody else's growth in order to grow.
Well, a lot of people spend, and we're gonna. I guess we'll get to the wrestling in a little bit, but a lot of people spend a lot of time blocking their blessings. And when you can't leave with negative energy and expect to be blessed.
That's true. That's true. And I'm still relatively new to all this, and I've seen some of the same people that said they got my back, that they'll support me, and that anything I and they are interested in the same thing that I do. There's no support, and that's cool. I'm not mad at them. I just know.
Well, I mean, you know, it's crazy. As in, I've had people who I grew up with that may like a post or even every now and then maybe comment every now and then. Very few of them give me opportunities to grow and stuff. Like I did a photo gig the other day. It was because my man Hannibal, who runs Rig TV, somebody needed pictures and he called me and we put it in the chat and then they booked me to come take these pictures. Paid gig. Um, but that's what it is. My man George, who I do photography and videography for, when we go to Texas, he hooked me up when I was doing South by Southwest weekend. Our people was like, "Oh, she needs somebody to film." Like the first year I did it, uh, basically I got there, I made money, and it basically paid for my trip. First year I did it, man, it was so many damn artists. I was like, "Yo, I should have charged a little bit more." This year, the next year when I did it, I just bought my tripod, but it was, once I got out my ego and was like, you know what? I'm making money doing shit that I love. It's cool. So when people who are around you put you in a good position, then that's your team you roll with.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, the last time we spoke, we were talking about SummerSlam, and we was waiting for things to happen at SummerSlam, and a lot has happened.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
We had a beast sighting. We we had a cash in that some people were food. Not this guy. I was hip to that. New tag champion, women's tag champions. A lot, man, a lot has happened since we last talked in wrestling. Here's my first question to you: what do you think is the state of wrestling in your opinion? Not just WWE, just wrestling in general.
I think the state of wrestling in general, it's it needs a little help at times. Um, there's room for great matches, and then there's rooms, but the whole part of wrestling, we love the stories. Um, and sometimes some of these stories will be hit and miss. Um, I
Example.
think, in my opinion, I think like the Tiffany Stratton versus Jade, that was a hit and miss. I think really Jade probably should have been champion. Tiffany Stratton run has been a little dry for me. And I think it's maybe time to switch the belt up. Maybe even turn Tiffany heel again. Because to me, she's a better heel than a face. Um, I think that was a bit. Even like this John Cena heel run, it was done to spark interest, and then it just when it started to sizzle out, uh, you can tell. When people started cheering him more than anything, then it's like, is it a real good heel run? It's not. Um, I think Dustin Rhodes, when he became the TNT champion, instead of putting it right on Kyle Fletcher, was a waste. And I get he's a workhorse, but now he's out indefinitely because of two knee operations. So he was um, the TNT champion. He was the Ring of Honor Tag Team champion and the Six-Man champion. I don't know why they got two Six-Man championships in AEW, but the Ring of Honor Six-Man championship. And now Sammy Guevara, we only hear his name no more. He was once a pillar of AEW, moved to Ring of Honor basically, and hasn't really done anything. And then the little stuff he was doing is gone. And now there's no room for him with all these other big fish in there. I love the Hurt Syndicate. I would really love to see if we're talking TNT titles. Great as a tag team, but if you're not going to give me the Hurt Syndicate versus FTR right now, then you're bullshitting me. Because that's the only team I can see that can really stand up. Or even the Hurt Syndicate versus the Young Bucks. However, Bobby Lashley should be in the world title picture. Shelton Benjamin, if not in the world title picture, he should damn sure be in the TNT or one of the lower tier title pictures. Shelton Benjamin is a phenomenal athlete,
Always has,
and can tell a great story.
always has.
You know, he always been above the actual standard. So when we see these things, I mean, it's stuff that you know the Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander trying to be friends. That's not good storytelling to me. Um, I like what they did with Bailey when she did the promo. That was a really good promo.
Where do you think that
Still not
goes?
stand. I don't know yet. That's a good question. But the fact that I don't know is what I like about it.
Did you
But it made me feel like I want to see what she's going to do next.
did you notice at the end of the promo, she was going like this, and you could hear the ding dong and then the laugh in the background. Do you
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you,
I love Heel Bailey though. Heel Bailey is the best to me.
I didn't notice it the first time. It took me a second time to listen to it, and like I picked up on it because she goes like this, and then is like you hear this like distorted her laugh, and then it was like ding dong.
Yeah,
Maybe she might be getting a character shift because
could be.
I mean we look like we are down a a woman at this time because currently Naomi is not medically fit to compete,
And
whatever that means. Which, today she had a podcast dropped with her and Jimmy talking to Stephanie, which that she never mentioned anything about it, so I'm assuming this was filmed around SummerSlam time.
yeah,
But if she is going to be out for any extended period of time, it's very unfortunate because she is at the top of her game.
her game. I mean, but that's what I was talking about when I was talking about stories. The fact that she made a great villain um, and made it entertaining, leading up to the winning Money in the Bank. Making it up until she cashed in. Like it was a great story watching her. You know, We don't get that. That's lightning in a bottle at times. You don't get those stories. You may, if you do it once, it's damn near impossible. If you get to do it twice or another time, it's never quite the same as the first. You know, it's when you have when Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble the first time. Okay, cool, cool, cool. When he won it the second time, we knew we was like, yeah, he's gonna win. You know, but that very first time is something that makes it special.
Yeah, yeah. I hope she's okay and be able to compete, but there's a lot of speculations. There's no point in speculating until the words from
Yeah,
her or anything like that. But hopefully it's nothing too serious, and we can get more Naomi because
she was brilliant.
yeah, and
She made Jade Cargill feel like a bigger deal. When she kept saying she was going to cash in for on Tiffany, everybody kept watching, and then when she cashed in, not on Tiffany, and on the Io Sky match and then Rhea Ripley, it just became wow, she's really doing it. And then when she really won, you couldn't help but the even though we know she's a heel, we couldn't help but to cheer because the story was so great.
it's my belief is if you could be a heel, but if people support you, if people are genuinely interested in you and behind you, especially if they see that you are grinding, you have been grinding, and you finally reached that mountain, you can't do nothing to help but cheer that person.
I mean, I was loving the fact that she was riding around on a a motorized suitcase. I thought that shit was hilarious. And then she was being in the back and catering, stealing food, and then getting on her motor. Yo, that oh my god, is that not? It kept me tuned in just to watch to see what crazy shit she was going to do. And she wasn't even really saying anything in the video, but she steal all the food from catering and just ride off. She'd be in the airport riding her little suitcase. I thought it was dope,
Yeah,
but you love stories like that.
yeah, it's easy to root for people like that. Um, Let me ask you another
Definitely.
question. Becky Lynch, right now, she's the current women's Intercontinental champion, and it looks like she's
Yes.
on a collision course with Nikki Bella. Who do you think will be the one to dethrone Becky Lynch?
Not Nikki Bella.
Okay.
Uh, um, so what Becky Lynch has done is and what was needed to be done was they needed to make the women's IC title feel important. And unfortunately, Lara Valkyrie, I'm not really a fan of hers. Wasn't it? She's boring. They need somebody. So the IC title back in the days for men was a great title for the heels to have, and it was a great title for the baby's face to chase. There were the Honky Tonk Man when he had that long IC run, Macho Man when he was the IC champion, Mr. Perfect. People coming close to almost getting to beat him, but then they get perfect plexed. It established stuff like I remember the Bret Hart and Kurt Hennig matches that made the IC title like, man, this shit is damn near better than the world champion. I remember IC matches at one point were better than no disrespect to Hulk Hogan, though he's dead, but uh, a lot of the IC title matches were better than his world title matches. Um, and they stole the show, Steamboat and Savage. You know, people talk about that match to this day as one of the greatest matches ever. That match was so great they wanted to put the world title on Steamboat. He just wanted to go on vacation. Yeah, that's another story for another day.
Exactly.
but but so Becky Lynch is doing it. They would need somebody strong like an Oscar or somebody like that. Like they need another. Whoever takes the title from, they need another strong champion, or they need another shot. I has to be like an Oscar or a Bailey or somebody who's going to uplift the belt. You can't give it to like a Kyrie Sane or a person who's doesn't have a big following with people uh and doesn't have like great matches to make the belt feel warranted. Um, the only other thing I can think of, maybe if they brought up like a last legend or somebody from NXT and they get a surprise victory or something like that. I've been really impressed with Last Legend because when she first started, she was sloppy as hell. And then when they had the tag match with her partner and versus Bianca and Jade, I was impressed. They did just have lose to Nia Jax, but I would say uh, it's almost time for her to be called up as a powerhouse. You put her up there with the Bianca, or you can put her up there with the Jade Cargill. I remember she did the thing when she did the somersault in the NXT. Like athletic wise, she's good. If with if in a perfect world, if Naomi wasn't sick and she needed big muscle, you can actually bring her up to be the muscle, like similar how they do Raquel Rodriguez. That's another one that could probably beat Becky for the belt and would be good about it. Would be Raquel Rodriguez. She had a decent run in NXT when she was champion. She just didn't have really a lot of opponents that could have matched her strength and size. I remember when she came up, she had um, a good match with Ronda Rousey and stuff. And right when she was getting hot, that's when she got sick.
Right. I think for me, um, I'm going to say Liv Morgan.
Well, I mean, once Liv comes back, she's definitely going to elevate anything that she's. Liv Morgan's been on fire for like this last year. Let's be honest. And Liv was one of those people that when you first saw her, you were torn between her and Alexa Bliss, and then you were like, but this last year, this run with Judgment Day, like the whole Liv Morgan Revenge tour, she's been holding it down. When she's come back, she's on fire. She could be a good IC champ, and then you can give Raquel and the little short girl
Roxanne.
Roxanne, the women tag titles again.
Okay. Well, transitioning since you brought up Roxanne, on Raw this week, Roxanne beat Io Sky, which the help of Asuka and Kai, which I believe would have been the same finish if Naomi was involved in this. If this is Naomi versus Io, just
Yeah,
let's for conversation's sake, let's say Naomi is unable to compete for an predetermined amount of time, and she has to relinquish the belt. What do you do with the women's world title?
it would be a fire match to have Oscar win it and then face Stephanie Verkera at
Clash.
Clash in Paris. Um, or Io Sky. I mean, but because I always love Oscar matches. I when I was so mad when your favorite female wrestler
Woo!
should have put her over at that WrestleMania, and she pulled a Hogan, creative control ass heathen. Um, but I've always loved her matches. The hip attack, uh, the no one's ready for Oscar. Everything that she executed was very good. So I would love to see one of those two would be good. Um, or I mean, or out of nowhere, let's have Liv come back if she's cleared. Um, I think Stephanie Verkera is probably gonna get a nice title run. I mean, she had a decent title run in NXT. And she was ready for the main roster when she got there.
Yeah, she was made roster ready to begin with. I believe I read an interview. I think they had given her the option, like she didn't have to do NXT, but she wanted to work in NXT, which I could respect that.
But why not? Why not? Why not face the new up and coming talent so that you know in 2 years you won't be fucking surprised when they come for your belt. So,
That's true.
uh, and why not help people make people look better?
Yeah, that's
You
should be
know,
the point of the business.
it is when it's done right. When business is done right, that's the point. I used to be so mad when a wrestler was leaving and they put somebody over, and then I realized that's the point of the business.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Um, Speaking of that, let transition here. What are your personal thoughts on Brock Lesnar being back?
it's Brock. I mean, it's Brock is break the glass because we don't have nothing. So we turn John Cena back face. Cody wins the belt, but we still need matches for John Cena. Who's going to step up? Well, we don't really have no younger talent that's going to be able to go move for move or draw that crowd or make you think, oh, John Cena's in jeopardy. So we can only pull one card. Well, we can pull couple cards. Well, we can't pull the Undertaker card because he's doing a podcast and he's retired. That's not going to happen. Cool. Um, can't pull the Stone Cold card because the only thing we would want to see him get the finger and then get a stunner. Stone Cold popularity is going to outshine John Cena's.
Hmm.
Cool. So then we have to go to the Brock Lesnar card. Now we put that card in. We made John Cena a babyface, and who's the biggest monster in the WWE? Was Brock Lesnar.
Are you surprised they brought him back, especially with the accusations? They try to say that the accusations surrounding him and the Janelle Grant case.
No, I mean this case has been going on forever. Um, Ric Flair got in trouble because the Vice City did the Dark Side of the Ring and brought up the plane ride from hell again. We weren't there in the room. You know, I can't say if he's guilty. I don't know if he's not guilty. The accusation existed. Um, there's like two sides to every story we haven't heard, and I'm sure from both sides we have never heard the truth from both sides. You know, there's my point of view, then there's your point of view. Just because they differ, that doesn't mean either one are wrong. So we don't know what went on the right or the left, and what was going on in between.
Speaking of accusations, another segue, there has been some heavy accusations, not by me, but there's been some heavy accusations that El Grande Americano is allegedly Ludwig Kaiser, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate. Allegedly. I am not accusing them because I don't do that. What are
Um,
your current thoughts on this multiple?
they just they just made it really interesting, and I'm glad that. However, I will say this: in the state of needing tag teams right now, I need Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates fighting for the tag team title. I really enjoy the Molly Grano, whatever latte, whatever his name is,
El
stuff right now.
Grande Americano.
Yes, that's a drink in Starbucks, by the way. Um,
It's a good drink too.
it's a dark roast coffee.
Listen,
Uh,
we're not gonna have the disrespect here, sir, of El
uh,
Grande Americano. Speak,
so you want the large cup of coffee. Okay, but I think that it's good because it gives Ludwig Kaiser something to do because he's
allegedly,
not in the feud right now.
allegedly.
Um, allegedly. and it's entertaining for the other boys. I would just prefer to see them doing tag team stuff though. Pete Dunne has been lost. Um, I miss the Bruiserweight. I love when they're a tag team. They could really, really, really picture them versus the Motor City Machine Guns. I think would be gold. Um, that would be fire. I think I definitely like. I would love to see them on the SmackDown tag team side though, because right now they're cooking with everything.
I I'd much rather them on Raw. Raw definitely needs
Needs help.
tag team help.
Well, they got. I mean, here's the thing: they got the New Day. The Viking Raiders are hurt again. I think one of them's hurt again,
Really,
isn't he?
I
I
haven't
think
seen
so.
them. I haven't seen them in movies.
I haven't seen them in. Maybe they're mad because Sarah Logan got fired again. I don't know, but I haven't seen the Viking Raiders.
Right.
Uh, the New Day is New Day. I mean, they're great at what they do. Who else is on Raw? That's a tag team. I mean,
You got
it's
American Alpha, LWO, Judgment Day.
so the Creed brothers. Really, I'm not gonna lie. Finn Balor and JD are a vicious tag team. The Creed brothers are good if they stop doing the goofy shit. If they were like how they was in NXT, um, they're vicious. They're one of the best. Remind me of Young Steiners. But when they do goofy shit, it just pisses me the fuck off. Be honest.
You know,
You know.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I wish they were more serious, like you just said, back in the NXT days. Because I think the tag
Yeah.
team division needs that. You get the New Day, they're your comedy. You don't need to heel
You don't need to, and he'll call me at that. Like, it's hard to even boo the New Day because they're so good at what they do. And I remember when the New Day, this is how good the New Day are. When the New Day first started, I hated them. And then I watched it, and then when I watched the team wrestle, and when I first saw Big E and Kofi team, I was like, my God, maybe let me reevaluate this this team right here. And then I saw the other mixture with. Then when I saw Kofi and Xavier wrestle, I was like, God dang, this combination's just as good. It was like you really don't get that all the time.
no, no, and I'm so glad that tag teams on SmackDown are getting shine. Speaking of SmackDown, we got a tag team match on SmackDown. We got DIY versus the Street Profits. Poor Candice, Lorray, since that Cole likes to call her Candice Michelle for whatever reason. But speaking of tag teams, I know you're a fan of tag team wrestling. Who are your top five favorite tag teams?
So we're gonna go with number one. Number one is the most simplest answer ever. Oh, what a rush! The Road Warriors. When the Road Warriors started out, they were hated. They came with the spikes, but the way they beat people up, it was so beautiful. You couldn't help but to love them. When the hardest moments was for me when they were watching NWA and they betrayed Dusty Rhodes. But man, I remember Hawk said some of the funniest things ever. He said, Mike Tenay, because he was fighting Ric Flair. And he was like, Mike Tenay, I know it's hard when us wrestlers come out here and we talk and we spit all the time. But it must be hard when you interview Ric Flair because you got to duck that big beak. I was in tears. Uh,
Okay, that's a fair one to have on the list.
number two, Steiners, man. The Steiners, I love the Steiners. Um, there's a match when they had the whatever the Japanese title, the IPG whatever tag team title, and they because in Japan what people don't realize is so if you don't know about Japanese wrestling, they really you get hit in America, but you get hit in Japanese wrestling. Like they knocked it, so they knocked the 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 gear off of Rick Steiner's head. And when I say I've never seen a person get hit with a clothesline, a Steiner line, so hard, you literally saw the man's soul leave his body and then fall back into his body. And I was like, damn. And that's like a sign of respect.
Yeah.
Like, but he hit the shit out of him. And I was like, yo, Steiners, though, I used to love the Steiners. They were always great to watch. Then after that, who would be number three? Uh, I love the Hardy Boys, man. The Hardy Boys were, I remember them coming up and they weren't the biggest, but they were one of the most entertaining tag teams that I liked. And Jeff Hardy's popularity. We always remember that time when Jeff Hardy did his entire dance moves while running to the ring to help somebody out.
Oh, that was Matt Hardy, wasn't it?
Yes,
His old brother
but
getting his ass whipped. Hold on, let me get this.
yeah,
Let me get this pyro in. Hold on, I'm coming.
yeah. um, so we on number four now.
Number four.
Um, Number four would be the APA, man.
Acolytes Protection Agency. I love them.
One, because most of the time they did nothing but they had one of the most entertaining parts on Raw. They did nothing but sit in the back and drink beer,
And you better go through
and they'd be
the ring.
like, "Yeah, they would make you knock." But the WrestleMania, in which I think it's a four-way match, and the New Age Outlaws are in it, and you have to watch it when Bradshaw hits Billy Gunn with that clothesline. My God, Billy Gunn spun like for 6 minutes. He hit him so damn hard.
That thing is that
Mm.
best clothesline in the game. Still,
Still, yes.
still that
And man, that clothesline was mean.
was still is. I still want to see
Still
Billy Gunn
is.
with it.
And my number five, we're gonna go super old school. One of my favorite one of my favorite wrestlers people don't really know about is that I'm a big Arn Anderson fan. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard fought the Road Warriors. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, when they were in WWE with the Brainbusters, when they were part of the Four Horsemen, they were vicious. Loved them to death. So they would be my top five right there.
That's
So
a
what are your top five?
oh boy. That's an interesting question. And I think number one for me, and they're not your traditional tag teams, but I've always been a fan of Kane and Undertaker as a tag team.
I love them as a tag
Because
team.
Undertaker was always my favorite, and Kane was so close there. For another one that's not a traditional tag team, but I love the pairing was Austin and Triple H.
Two-man power
Two
trip.
man power trip. Love the 2 man power trip. That was because I mean, big Austin and Triple H.
I wish they would have kept that era going a little bit longer with the two-man power trip.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Um, Another one that's not a traditional tag team. Rock and Foley. I thought their
Okay.
dynamic. I thought their dynamic was different for the time, and due to their history, I like the
The chemistry.
yeah, I like it when it's not the traditional tag team because it's like, all right, how are you gonna make these two guys work together as a team? Um, Gotta love another one. I got love for the Dudleys.
Oh, the Dudleys are awesome.
Got love for the Dudleys. And the last one, man, so many tag teams. Um, Another team that really wasn't a tag team. I kind of liked when Orton and Edge were a tag team. Rated
Oh,
RKO.
rated RKO.
Yeah, I like that. I like
It-
those.
it's-
I like those kind of teams.
so the Dudleys was great. I love hearing the story about the Dudleys, um, and then how they told the story of how did Devon get the table started.
Yes, yeah,
And he was like, he forgot that one time, and then he said Bubba kept doing it, and then he said he got mad, and Bubba was like, "No, I think we're on something." And I remember them doing that, and the crowd just going wild. And even when they were bad guys, they were putting old ladies through tables, and people were like, "Get the table!"
yeah. The tables were ready to eat for everyone. It didn't matter who. Something that
Yep.
you're going through that damn thing.
And then Rated RKO was good because it was giving Randy Orton his moment, and it was giving Edge his moment, and being something different. I thought they had a good run. They made great heels together. Um, at first I really didn't like Randy Orton that much because he defeated Benoit for the title, and I was a big Benoit fan, and they never really gave him his rematch. But you just gotta love Randy when he punt kicked Shawn Michaels, and nothing against Shawn Michaels, but he just got punt kicked though.
Yeah,
But
Orton was diabolical when as he progressed. I remember his feud with
yeah,
Triple H, where he was putting Vince McMahon and Shane and RKO and Stephanie and kissed
yeah,
Stephanie in front of Triple H. And speaking of
mhm.
Orton, he did a What's Your Story thing with Stephanie, and I suggest people watch it because it's definitely given me a different side of Orton that I didn't know. Like we as fans of wrestling, we see these ladies and guys, and some of us we look at them. It's like, man, they don't go through anything. They're just they got no problems in the world. But then Orton, he's sitting there and he's talking like, yeah, when he had surgery, like he was going through depression. He had anxiety. He had to take like medication just to kind of get there. He had like times of isolation from his family. He had like dark moments, and it really resonated with me listening to that because it's like we look at these guys as like impervious. They
Yeah.
don't go
I
through
mean,
anything, and I love the fact that we are in a era of time where these people, these performers, could openly open up and be like, yeah, I'm going through the shits too. Like it ain't the grass ain't
but
green.
they make it okay to be human,
Yes, yes,
and
absolutely.
I think the progression of Randy Orton from watching him over the last 20 years, started being Bob Holly's partner to being a 14-time WWE champion to mentoring talent like Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. to being in a leadership, to being a locker room leader. Who would have thought that? Um, you know, he reached heights that his father didn't even reach.
Yeah,
And, from being the prankster, the jokester, to being a father,
maturity.
to being, yeah, to having such a, to doing doing what he's doing now is putting people over, from the Gunthers and stuff like that. That giving back to how he got put in the place that he was in by having these legends like Shawn Michaels and Triple H put him over,
Right.
Mick Foley put him over, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan put him over, and um, he's doing that for the younger generation. Like, I wouldn't mind him being a 15 or a 16 or a 17 time champion, but he's not really out doing that. He's putting them over and telling a great story while doing it.
I got a funny Orton story. I went, me and a friend, a couple of people, we went to one of the wrestling shows. This is a house show, and I think it was Orton and AJ Styles versus A Town Down Under. and we had really good seats. So Orton and AJ Styles on the babyface side. So Orton's on the outside, and he's not grabbing the tag rope. So I'm like, Orton, grab the tag rope. You know better than that. No response. I'm like, Orton, it's a tag match. Grab the tag rope. He turns and looks at me and grabs the tag rope and turns back around. I was like, thank you. Like, you know better than that.
That's hilarious. So it was a SummerSlam, I think, and maybe the house show, I can't remember, but it was a long, long time ago. And you never know how big people are until you see them in real life. So we had good seats, and Randy Orton did a run out. So when you see these people on TV, and this is young Randy Orton, so when you see him, you think he's this nice, like he's this slim mother dude. Nah, when he did his run out, and you actually see him in real life, he's big as
Yeah.
shit. And now he's even bulkier.
What this was like 2023 when I seen it. I'm like, damn, like the TV doesn't do these people justice.
It doesn't, because when I was like, I did not know he was that damn big. When you see him on TV, you like, man, I could take him. He about my size. No, the hell you can't.
Proceed with caution.
Yeah. Why you think them people who try to run up on them wrestlers always go down in a headlock and stuff like that? Because they think it's fake, and it's not. Like, a headlock is a headlock. In a street fight, in a UFC fight, it's a headlock.
Now, before we wrap, there's two pieces of a conversation I would like to hit on. Now, one of them is Trish Stratus. Now, there's been something I've noticed, and I believe it was Melina that said this, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but WWE focuses on Trish over other talent that helped her get to where she's at. And all they worry about is Trish Stratus. They don't bring back a Victoria. They don't bring back a Jazz or an Ivory, like these other women that have helped pave the way for, or even Alita. It's every time it's like it's Trish, 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 Trish. Do you think Trish is overvalued as a female?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Melina, great talent. However, Melina does have a check of past of how certain things happen. But she did great work in the NWA. I would like she was doing, and then when she was managing Thunder Rosa and stuff like that. However, attitude problems or whatever, because they were pushing Melina. Don't forget, they were pushing Melina to be the next thing. You just can't sleep with half the locker room and all that other stuff, and then want to be treated as gold. Doesn't happen that way. Um, Honestly, when Trish Stratus matches came on back in the day, that just meant it was time for me to run to 7-Eleven, go get me some alcohol, and walk slowly so that this. I was never impressed with Trish Stratus matches. The matches he had with Lita later on was good. Um, Jazz is a powerhouse. Jackie was a powerhouse. A lot of people did, but keep in mind that Trish Stratus fits the WWE's image. The same way she was basically the replacement for Sable. Blonde hair and big tits. That's what the chairman of the company likes. If it was a black guy, she had big tits and a big ass, and she be twerking. Um, that's what they like, and um, she gave an eye back to Tiffy time, and she showed up at Evolution. But there's are tons of other people. It's just that the thing is, if you salt your legacy, you can't expect people to value it. You know, and then when you salt your legacy, you give people opportunity. So it's either the girl that left on hard times versus the one that left good. So we're gonna go with the one that left good because that person doesn't have a salty past. You know, that's why we have a Mae Young Classic and we don't have uh,
Moolah?
yeah, because when they was gonna do something because her legacy is so tainted. So when you taint your legacy, it makes it hard for people to root for you. And then they brought back Lita before. They brought back some other people. Uh, One, we have to think about it like this: if I've been out of wrestling for such and such, Trish Stratus is a yoga instructor. She can come back at any given time. She's working out every day. If I have a regular job, I'm a teacher, I'm this, I'm that. I'm not working out every day. Them. When you get past 40, them bumps hit a little bit different.
My only pushback on that doesn't stop them from calling back some of the men that are past their prime to come back. Yeah, I mean that that never stopped them. Hey, let's call Undertaker to do something, or Goldberg, or something like that. And there's no disrespect, but it's like,
And you see that they caused Goldberg. It's a couple of matches, that they called Goldberg way too many times. When he did the Undertaker match,
we
clearly,
don't need to talk.
way
We
he
don't need
shouldn't
to talk
think off.
about that. We don't need.
You almost killed one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, we
Uh,
don't need to talk about that.
and then he concussed himself. Good
Okay.
job.
Yeah.
Um, so, and they it's when it's done right, it's okay. But when it's not done right, it's. But there are plenty good guys that they've never called back. Like I would have loved to see the world's greatest tag team reunite in the WWE and have a run. We never got that. They never called back Charlie Haas. They called back Shelton Benjamin, but they never called back Charlie Haas.
And
And we don't know the reason.
right. Yeah, that's true. Um, and the last thing I wanted to touch on before we conclude, I haven't fully watched the WWE Unreal yet, but I have seen clips of the boardroom. Now I could be out of bounds, could be wrong on this, but I noticed that there is a glaring omissions from the creative room for WWE. It's all white guys.
Of course.
There's not diversity. There's no women. I didn't see any women in there. I could be wrong, but I didn't see any women. I didn't see any other nationalities or anything in there to give a variety. And I think this is why some storylines with some of these wrestlers get the stop
Suck.
and go or the stop treatment, because it's like, me personally, I believe there should be a creative team for women, because it's hard to have a man try to write a story for a woman in a woman's perspective.
Well, keep in mind, up until a certain point, women matches were bra and panty matches, thanks to Vince McMahon.
Hmm.
Fit Finley basically showed women how to wrestle, and it hence we got better storylines and got better matches. Um, when you're in control of something, you can't force change when the people in control like being in control, and they want the product to be a certain way. They want a certain look. There are When you can still in 2025 count the amount of black heavyweight champions on your hand, that's a big issue. When you have Brock Lesnar turn up to fight John Cena at the end of SummerSlam, but then give him a proper series with Bobby Lashley, you know, says a lot.
Yeah,
When you let Bronson Reed steal the shoes off of Roman Reigns, but you never had Bobby Lashley facing for the World Heavyweight Championship, it shows that you want a certain image.
yeah,
It shows that you control that.
and you're right. And like I said, I haven't watched the Unreal. I've just seen the clips, but it's like looking around the room. It's just like, I feel like that's not even just with wrestling. That's with anything that you're. If you just have one of anything, whether it's just only men, only women, only women of color, whatever it is, it weakens the points you need of strength,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But
Well, some people are afraid to grow. Some people don't want to grow. Um, you know, there's a reason why we've only had one black president because 90 because people whitewash stuff and they control whatever the narrative is. We live in a society that diversity is rapid.
yeah,
Um, we live in a society that Eminem wasn't the first white rappers. There was other white rappers that came out during the '80s. Um, See, that's diversity in hip hop, where we probably have more white rappers than we've had black presidents. Think about that.
yeah,
Um, we've had more white rappers than black presidents, and we've had more white rappers than black heavyweight champions in the WWE.
and that's not just a WWE problem. This is an AEW problem as well.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to just sit there and say this is only a WWE problem. WWE has
Oh,
put the championship on black wrestlers. AEW's put it on one, I believe. I understand there's a
I mean,
massive difference.
it, when Big Swerve left, that's what she claimed, and then oh no, we're not like that as a company. Swerve Strickland had said, there was some racist things in WWE, and you can't tell me there's no racist things in AEW because once again, we just talked about the Hurt Syndicate them being pushed. Why isn't Bobby Lashley in a title picture? Um, Everybody who's getting pushed right now, only one black guy is up for a title going against Okada and stuff like that.
Right.
So Swerve is, but so no black guy is good enough to face Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship. Um, no black guy is good enough to face Bandito. Um, the strongest female that you have, one of the strongest female you have, who's been a champion in Ring of Honor for 2 years, Athena. Now we actually get her. We get to see her on regular TV, so she can finally face. The only time we bring her out is for her to lose to other people. And Athena was a great wrestler, as Amber Moon, who should have been done better.
And talk about a fumbled bag by WWE.
That was a big fumble. That was a big fumble.
Yep.
And and but once again, it's lack of diversity. Here's the funny thing I just thought about too. I think we've had more black female heavyweight champions and world champions than we've had male.
I, that's probably pretty right. That's accurate. Which I mean, I'm glad that you know some of these women are actually getting their shine now. Like it's not all bad. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, WWE is racist.
No, no, no. Shout out to the black women for that.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
we got people like a Jada Parker, Lasher coming up, Jade eventually, Bianca's, the shit, Naomi, there's, I just want to see more diversity. And
definitely, definitely.
even if it's like an Oscar, just something different. But,
Give us something with hips because we're tired of seeing flat back Charlotte
well,
Flair
well,
try to wear hold her
well,
title.
well, well, what we're not going to do is end this by disrespecting the Queen, sir. But I will ask you one last question. What do you think about the greatest intercontinental champion ever, Dirty Dominic Mysterio? As he, I believe, this weekend will be in AAA fighting for the Mega Championship in a fatal four way. What do you think about
uh,
that?
I think Dominic is hot right now. He's fire. He's gold. He's entertaining. He's hitting it on all points. He's making his feud with AJ Styles last. I'm kind of glad that AJ didn't win because the feud is going on, and he's entertaining with it. The drama with Liv the Judgment Day drama. Like ever since he got be part of Judgment Day, his value just kept getting bigger and bigger. The mullet, the mustache, like
Ever since he got
at,
rid of that
at,
dead weight, Rey Mysterio, everything's been better.
don't ever
That,
disrespect the greatest luchador
no,
of all
I
time.
did not disrespect Dominic Mysterio. I said Rey Mysterio. I said what I said. Poor Dom had such a difficult life. You know, Rey, which is
let me tell you. Let me tell you how great. Let me tell you how great of a father Rey Mysterio was. When Charlotte Flair's news came out, he poked Dominic in the eyes.
those who don't know, it is that is a running joke between the two of us. But that is all we have time. Is there anything else, sir? Thank you before. Thank you again for seeing
Nah, there's
talking
nothing
wrestling.
else. I can't. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, maybe we
Just
can
be
get.
on the lookout when the new podcast starts. Can you beatbox?
Yeah, we definitely get you on. Maybe we could do a prediction show for Clash of the Castle. But that'll be all, everybody. The chair was filled. The chair is now empty, and soon there will be another person in the chair. But I thank you again. Everybody stay safe and stay blessed.
All right.